Dear students, today in this session I would like to explain the unit real gases. In this unit I have chosen the topic comparison between ideal gas and real gases and also isotherms of a real gas. Dear students, before going to the difference between ideal gas and real gas, first we have to understand what are ideal and real gases. See here, an ideal gas or perfect gas is that gas which strictly obeys gas laws like Boyle's law and Charles' law, as well as it obeys the equation PV equals RT under all conditions. Under all conditions. Here the temperature, pressure, volume are not considered in this case, but all real gases like hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, oxygen, etc., they all show some deviation from the gas laws, particularly at low temperatures and at high pressures. But in ideal gas, we don't consider particularly at low temperatures and high pressures. But in case of real gases, we consider stick on to low temperatures and high pressures. At very low pressure, the intermolecular forces are negligible. Therefore, at low pressures, all real gases obeys the gas equation, that is PV equals RT, where P is the pressure and V is the volume, R is the universal gas constant and T is its absolute temperature. Here the internal energy of an ideal gas is a function of temperature only, but for a real gas, internal energy is a function of pressure and temperature. I repeat, in case of ideal gas, internal energy is a function of temperature. But in case of real gases, internal energy is a function of pressure and temperature. In fact, no gas is perfect or ideal in the true sense. I hope it is clear. Next we switch over to the difference or comparison between ideal gas and real gases. See the chart here. This chart gives the difference between ideal gas and real gas. Here in case of ideal gas, it obeys all gas laws under all conditions of temperature and pressure, whatever the condition may be. But in case of real gas, it obeys gas laws at low pressure and high temperature only. In case of ideal gas, the volume occupied by the molecules is negligible as compared to total volume. And in case of ideal gas, the volume occupied by the molecule is negligible. But in case of real gas, the volume occupied by molecule is not negligible as compared to total volume of a gas. Here in the real gas we consider the volume occupied by molecule, but in case of ideal we don't consider the volume occupied by the molecule. Here in case of ideal gas, the force of attraction among all the molecules are negligible. But in case of real gases, the force of attraction are not negligible. That means we consider the intermolecular force of attraction between the molecules of a gas at all temperatures and pressure. Here ideal gas obeys the equation PV equals nRT, but real gas it obeys the van der Waals equation like P plus AN square divided by V square into V minus NB equals nRT. This is about the comparison between ideal gas and real gas. Let us see the critical constants. First one is the critical temperature. It is abbreviated as TC. C is the subscript here. Here critical temperature is defined as the maximum temperature at which a gas can liquefied by the increase of pressure alone. Here gas undergoes liquefaction, that means liquefied, when we increase the pressure alone. We can increase only the pressure at a particular temperature, that is maximum temperature. That is known as critical temperature. Above this temperature, the gas cannot be liquefied, howsoever large the applied pressure may be. Second constant is critical pressure. It is abbreviated as PC. Here the pressure necessary to liquefy a gas at critical temperature is called the critical pressure. That means necessity of pressure to liquefy a gas at critical temperature, that is known as critical pressure. The third constant is critical volume. It is abbreviated as VC. It is the volume which unit mass of gas occupies at the critical temperature and critical pressure. These three quantities, that is critical temperature, critical pressure and critical volume, are called critical constants of a gas. Let us see about critical point. It is that point on the isothermal for the critical temperature at which the change of state from the gaseous state to the liquid state takes place under constant values of the critical pressure and critical volume. That point is said to be critical point. These are all seen in the next session in detail. Let us see the isotherm of real gas. Isotherms of a real gas. See here, isotherm means pressure volume curve. Pressure volume curve at a constant temperature. That is isotherm of a real gas. For ideal gas, the product of pressure and volume is constant. I mean PV is constant, and hence the isotherm would be rectangular hyperbola. See in the figure, for most of the gases at a normal temperature, the slope of PV curve is the same as it is for carbon dioxide gas. The carbon dioxide gas also shows the isotherm like this. This is isotherm of a real gas. Here in this figure, see this figure in the right side of this slide, it represents measured isotherms of carbon dioxide at various temperatures. At various temperatures. From this we came to know that at temperature T1, that is at 13.1 degrees Celsius, here this AB represents the gaseous states of carbon dioxide. Here the symbol A and B, C, D are missed here, but anyway, here the AB represents the gaseous state of carbon dioxide. It obeys Boyle's law from B to C. Volume decreases suddenly with a slight increase in pressure. The volume decreases suddenly with slight increase in pressure. Hence the BC, here this horizontal line BC represents the change of gaseous to liquid state. At the point C, here shown here, at the point C, the gas has been liquefied. At this point the gas has been liquefied completely, and the portion CD represents the liquid state. This portion is liquid state. At the temperature T2, here the next line, this is at temperature 21.5 degrees Celsius. These readings are taken by Andrews by conducting an experiment on carbon dioxide and air. Here at this temperature T2, this is slightly higher than the temperature T1. The curve is similar. The portion BC, this portion, horizontal portion, the portion BC has decreased further to FG. Here this portion BC, this is decreased further to FG. This one is FG. EFG. This one is A, B, C, D. This is E, F, G here. This portion is here, it covers maximum portion, but this FG covers little portion here. Hence the FG decreases here. At the temperature T3, here the bold line, the horizontal portion is just vanished here. Here in the below line, below two temperatures T1 and T2, there is a horizontal portions are there, but horizontal portions goes on decreases here while increasing the temperature. Here in this case, while at the temperature 31.1 degrees Celsius, the horizontal portion is just vanished. That is called critical isothermal for carbon dioxide CO2. Above this temperature, the horizontal portions does not appear. Here above this, here in these lines here, there is no horizontal portions. There is no horizontal portions here. They do not appear here. And the gas obeys Boyle's law in this case. These isothermals are similar to the isothermals for air. Isothermals for air shown here. The critical isothermal of carbon dioxide divides into two regions. Above the critical temperature Tc, above this critical temperature, the gas cannot be liquefied. The gas cannot be liquefied above this temperature. Howsoever, large the applied pressure here, large the applied pressure, below the critical temperature, the gas can be liquefied. The gas can be liquefied by the application of pressure alone. By the application of pressure alone, by keeping temperature constant. Within the dotted area, within this dotted area shown here, vapor and liquid are in equilibrium at the vapor pressure. The highest point P is called the critical point, and the temperature T1 of the isothermal is called the critical temperature. This is about the isotherms of real gases. Thank you.